You guys hear that? That announcement? Oh, I muted you. So you can't tell me. Anyway,
Yes.
thank you. All right, so this meeting is being recorded. I think that's kind of good that everybody's given that notice. And for those who are joining the video, we're going to use weights today, and we are going to use a wall at a certain point. We're going to try and put our legs up the wall. So if you have a wall or a door, we'll go there towards the end of the class. And welcome, Dave. So let's make our way over to our mats, and we can begin sitting or lying down, your choice. And either way, we always begin by spending a little time just getting in touch with how we're feeling. And we also want to begin by getting grounded. So really feeling that relationship to the earth, the floor, the ground that is supporting us. So if you're lying down, put your feet on the floor and just feel the weight of your body and its relationship to the ground. If we're sitting up, feel the parts of the body that connect to the ground. Root your sitting bones down. Sit up nice and tall. Either way, you could have eyes open or eyes closed. But let's just bring our full awareness to what it feels like to be in our bodies. These amazing, incredible things that we are able to inhabit. And perhaps spend this time just appreciating all the ways we get to experience the world through being in this body of ours. We have all these sensations. We can feel so much. Just even noticing the feeling of the air on our skin, the feeling of our clothing, the quality of the air in the room where you are. Maybe it's warm, maybe it's cool, maybe it's damp, maybe it's dry. Noticing what you can hear, what you might be able to smell. And if we've closed our eyes, it might have enhanced our ability to notice these other sensations, these other ways to experience the world. When our eyes are open, our visual experience tends to dominate what we notice. But of course, what a gift it is to have our sight, our ability to see. So we can just begin with appreciation for the fullness of our ability to be here now. Let's spend a little time focusing on our breathing now. Just focusing our full awareness on what it feels like to breathe in and to breathe out. I often just very naturally come back to Thich Nhat Hanh's breath practice where he says, breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I release. There's more to that breath practice, but it's just a little reminder that this act of breathing is really quite amazing and powerful and can be rather transformative. What we choose to focus on is what we experience. So we can focus on our breath. We can focus on breathing in a smile or gratitude or appreciation. We can let our exhale be a releasing and a letting go, or we might choose to just breathe out something positive. So let's use our breath this morning as a way to kind of commune with our present moment experience. Let's breathe in something positive, something supportive this morning as we do some movement practice to benefit our body, working on our strength and our mobility. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes if they were closed, and let's make our way to lying down. If you're not already there, go ahead and transition to lying back. And let's take our feet off the floor and hug our knees into chest. And hold your knees in kind of close and hug them in with your knees together. And then release that a bit and take your knees out wide and then hug them in nice and close. And then release them and bring your knees together and hug them in nice and close. And then release them and take your knees wide and hug them in nice and close. Yeah. Let's bring the legs together and lift them up in the air. Your arms can drop down. And we'll just alternate flexing and pointing. Getting a nice big heel push up and toe pull down here. And kind of straightening the leg a bit where you're flexing. And then we'll circle at the ankles in one direction. And we'll circle the other way. Just loosen up. Maybe spread out your toes, wiggle them around. Just wake up the feet, the legs. All right, let's bend the knees. And we'll take our arms out like a T. So we have knees over the hips. And I want you to just lower your toes, your big toe, to touch the floor. And then bring your knees back up. So can we lower our toes to the floor and try not to let the back arch when we do that? So let the low belly do the work of supporting the low back rather than just letting the back arch. So we're going to tap the big toe to the floor and then we'll bring the knee up and then let's lift the legs up and we're going to reverse curl. Just lift those hips and then roll out, bend your knees, tap your toe, lift your knees up, straighten your legs, reverse curl. Lower, bend, tap your toe, bring your knees up, bring your legs up, reverse curl. Roll out, bend, tap, knees up, legs up, curl, lower, bend, and tap, knees up, legs up, curl. We're going to stay here now with your legs straight. Take them over to one side. Take them over to the side to a point where it's challenging to hold them there. And then just hold them there. So this opposite side waist is doing the work of holding the legs there. Take a breath. And then bring those legs back up. And then let them go to the other side. Take them to the point where it's a bit of a challenge to hold them there. And then take a breath. And then bring the legs back up. All right, we're going to bend the knees and tap the toes. Bring the knees up, lift the legs up, reverse curl, roll out, take the legs over to one side, hold them there, take a breath. With the exhale, bring them back to center, let them go to the other side, hold them there, take a breath. With your exhale, bring them back to center. Again, bend the knees, tap the toes. Bring the knees up, lift the legs, reverse curl, roll out. Let's go to the second side first. So take your legs to the side that you don't normally start with. Hold them there. Take a breath. Exhale, back up. Try not to use your arms. Let the legs go over to the other side. Hold them there. Take a breath. Exhale, back up. We'll do that whole series one more time. Bend the knees, tap the toes. Bring the knees up, lift the legs, reverse curl. Roll out, take the legs over to one side. Hold them there, take a breath. Exhale your legs back to center. Take them over to the other side, hold them there, take a breath. Exhale them back up. Great. Go ahead and bend your knees and lower your feet to the floor. Let's lift our heads up and clasp our hands beneath the head, letting the weight of the head rest in the hands, elbows wide. We're going to take a breath in. As we exhale, let's start to curl up. We're going to knit the ribs into the belly, curl up head, neck, and shoulders. Get the shoulder blades off the floor. Look out beyond the knees, and then inhale and lower back down. Again, exhale, knit and curl up, and then let's reach the arms forward, kind of reaching towards your knees. And so our ribs are knitting into the belly. Can we keep those ribs knitting in and down as we lower our heads back? Let's take our arms overhead, reaching the thumbs toward the floor. So the arms go overhead. The tendency is for the ribs to pop up, but we're keeping the ribs knitting into the belly here. Then let's take the elbows wide. We're going to scoop the arms around and down, scoop up and knit and curl up, reaching the arms forward, knitting the ribs into the belly. Can we keep knitting those ribs in as we lower back down? Releasing the head, reaching the arms overhead, thumbs reaching back without the ribs popping up. We can breathe in, and then we'll let the elbows slide out to the side. Then we'll take the arms around. Again, we're going to knit and scoop and curl up, reach forward. Keep knitting the ribs as we lower back down. Head goes down, arms reach overhead. We breathe in without popping the ribs up. And then elbows go wide, arms reach out. We'll scoop around one more time, knit and curl up and reach. Keep those ribs knitting in as you lower back down and reach the arms overhead and breathe in. And then just let your arms go out wide. Let them come down to your side. Let's go ahead and roll onto our sides, facing our device. We'll come up onto our bottom forearm. Get our elbow right under our shoulder. We'll stack the knees. They can be kind of on an open angle rather than straight forward, a little more of an open angle. One hand can go on our hip. Let's try not to collapse down here, but we're going to keep some pressure on that bottom forearm and some space between the shoulder and the ear. And then pushing down into that bottom leg, we're going to lift the hips up and lower them down. So we're going to lift with the strength of that bottom leg, but we're also lifting with this bottom side waist, and then we're lowering back down. So we can do it just like this with one knee on top of the other. Another option would be when we lift the hips up to extend a leg out and then lower back down. So lift up and extend maybe, and then lower back down. A few more like this. So working on a little weight-bearing strength in the shoulders, working that side waist, working the hip a little bit to extend the leg. Let's come up again, and you could have the knee on top of the other knee or the leg extended. We can reach an arm up if we like, and could we just lift that bottom side waist a bit more and take a breath? Great, and then we're gonna lower down. Let's swing our legs out in front and go all the way around to the other side. So again, we get elbow right beneath shoulder, knees stacked on an open angle. And rather than collapsing down, we have a nice lift here. And then we're going to lift the hips up and lower back down. And we might want to just work right here, lifting and lowering. We could, as we lift up, try extending a leg out, seeing how that feels for you this morning. And we're just bearing some weight here, working that bottom sideways, getting the hips involved here. Yeah, we can come up one more time, and then the next time we're going to hold up. You could be on the knees, you could have the leg extended, you could reach the arm up. Could you lift that bottom side waist a bit more and take a breath? and then come back down. Now let's make our way around to all fours. Get your knees right under your hips, your hands right under your shoulders. Take some time to shift around till you feel really solid in your position. Find length as you breathe in, lengthen your spine. As we breathe out, let's drop the tailbone down and start to round all through the spine, pushing to the hands, dropping the head. Maybe taking the hips back just a little bit to deepen that flexion, perhaps. And then rock forward to your flat back. Start to lift your tail up, start to arch all through your back, pull your heart forward, look forward, breathe in. And then transition to your flat back. Do those two movements a couple more times in any way that feels good for your body. That might mean just holding, that might mean shifting a little side to side or front and back. Whatever feels good here, just let your spine move organically in a way that makes it feel like you're kind of loosening it up, helping it find a little more mobility here. Just maybe flow from one to the other one more time. And eventually making your way back to our more flat back or neutral spine. And then let's take one leg back. We're going to press out through the heel, really fire up that leg so you feel it strong. And then reach the opposite arm forward. Just our standard spinal balance position here. We're going to hold it for a bit, because there's a lot of things that have to work to keep us from toppling over here. A lot of muscles are active just to hold this position. Can we reach a little further out with the hand? Can we press a little further back through the heel? Can you feel your body supporting this balanced place here? And take one more breath. And then release that hand and knee down. Let's do the other side. So pressing back out through the other heel, really strong and active through that leg. And then opposite arm reaching forward. Thumb can be up here. Just hold here, but get as long as you can. Feel your breath. What are we breathing in this morning? How can we support ourselves? How can we offer ourselves love, kindness? Breathe in positive energy. For one more breath. And then release that hand and knee down. Let's go ahead and sit back on our heels. Round into child's pose. Let your forehead come down and be supported. Connect with your breath here. And especially allow your exhale to empty out. Do that again. And then with your next breath, lift your head up, reach your arms out. Let's make our way to downward facing dog. Taking some time to ground down through the hands, to draw the hips way up and back, to release the head and neck, maybe shaking the head a bit, creating space across the upper back between the shoulder blades. Maybe bending a knee and pedaling a heel down, and bending that knee and pedaling the other heel down. Again, just moving in a way that is supportive for you at this point in your practice this morning. Let's take a deep breath in and out here with a nice big sigh or a letting go. And then let's walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering our heels down, ending up folded over, nice soft bent knees, arms and head loose and heavy. Really plant your feet into the soil of your mat. Take a big breath into your upper back. Allow the breath to release. And then draw your belly in and begin to roll yourself up. Again, a nice chance to articulate the spine a bit here. Stacking those vertebrae. As your head begins to lift up, really feel your feet planted down. Reach your arms out and broaden across your collarbones. Ground down to reach up and breathe in. And then exhale your arms all the way down. Great. All right, let's pick up our weights here. I think you'll potentially use your heavier weights unless you want to start out a little lighter. And let's just have our feet right beneath us. We're just going to lift the heels up. So we're going to come into a little bit of a calf raise and then lower down, or a big calf raise, maybe lifting those heels up nice and high. And then let's add some arm movement with this. We're going to lift our heels up and reach the arms out and take them all the way up and overhead. And then we're going to take them out and lower down. So heels come up as the arms reach out and overhead. And then arms go out and heels come down. So we're warming up the shoulders here. Big movement. So actually maybe lighter weights might be more appropriate at this point. I'm already kind of warmed up. But if you're just getting going here, you might want to start with lighter weights because this is a long lever. So a little more work. I have a little chipmunk friend right outside of my window here. So he's challenging me to be focused on my practice rather than focusing on the chipmunk. So let's connect with our breath here. Let's inhale as the arms go out and up, and exhale to lower, and one more time. Great. All right. So we're going to shift into a squat stance. So maybe it's slightly wider, maybe toes turned out a bit. Again, you probably could use your heavier weights for this one. We're just going to start to squat. So let's come down. And then as we come up, we'll curl up and then again, lift the heels. So we're going to sit into our squat, lower the arms, come up, lift the heels and press up. Sit down, lower, come up and lift. Yeah. So getting those legs working here. We were working the lower leg. Now we're working the upper leg. Working those biceps, shoulders. Getting moving here. Yeah. A couple more like this. And then the next time when we come up to stand, rather than lifting our heels, we're going to lift one knee. And then we're going to come into our squat. We're going to lift the other knee. So we're going to come into our squat and lift the first knee. Come into our squat and lift the second knee. Let's do a few more like this. A little balance work here. Stability. More muscles have to fire when we try to balance to keep us from tipping over. So it's all good. Let's do two more. And we'll do one more round of this. Great. All right. Got a little more heat going here, a little more breath action. Let's move to the back of our mats. And we will stand rooted and tall. Let's reach the arms out. Inhale and reach up and overhead. Exhale and swan dive. And then once we're folded over, we're going to walk our hands out until we come into a plank position. Let's hold this plank position and take a breath. And then lift the hips up and back to down dog. Walk the hands back towards the feet. Lower the heels down. Roll yourself up. Inhale and reach out and up. Exhale and swan dive forward. Walk your hands out into a plank. Hold that plank position. Try a little bend in your elbows and take another breath. And then straighten the arms, lift up and back to down dog. Walk the hands back towards the feet. Fold it over. Take a breath. Exhale and roll yourself up. Reach your arms out. Inhale and reach overhead. Exhale and swan dive forward. Walk your hands out into your plank. Hold your plank. Take a breath. Exhale, little bend in the elbows and take another breath. Exhale now and lower all the way onto belly. Find your prone mountain, letting your chest sink down. Find your length, toes to crown. Let's inhale up to baby cobra and exhale back down. Let's inhale up again and then lift the hands, lift the elbows and hug in. Then release the hands, release the chest. We'll leave our hands down now and inhale up to either baby cobra or perhaps coming up higher into cobra. And then lower back down. Let's push up to knees. Curl the toes under and lift the knees. Lift up and back to down dog. Take a breath. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Lower your heels down. Take another breath. As your breath empties, roll yourself up. Reach your arms out and up and overhead. Breathe in. Exhale and swan dive. Walk your hands out into plank. Find your plank position and hold for a breath. Exhale, little bend in the elbows. Take another breath. Exhale all the way down to belly, prone mountain. Inhale up to baby cobra or cobra. Exhale back down. Now we're going to push up to knees and take the hips back. And then rock forward and lower down. So this is one option, pushing up to knees, taking the hips back, coming forward and lowering down. Another option is to push up to plank, bend the knees and take the hips back, come forward and lower down. So your option, you can come up to knees and go back, you can come up to plank and go back. We'll do a few more of these push-ups. Pushing up, going back, coming forward, and lowering down. Let's do two more. Up and back, and forward and down. Last one. Up and back, and forward and down. Great. Let's stay down for a minute. You can put your forearms on the floor. Let your head rest on your hands. Let those shoulders relax. Let your back relax. And take a breath. And then let's lift our heads up. Bring our arms at our side. So fingertips reaching back, palms to the ceiling. We're going to press the hips down and lift the legs up. Your toes can be kind of pointed. You're trying to lift the legs as you keep them nice and long. We're going to reach back through the fingertips, pull the heart forward, and lift the chest up. So we're in our kind of standard locust position, working that whole back line of the body, maybe lifting the legs, maybe lifting the arms and the chest a bit more as we breathe in. And then we'll exhale to lower down. Now bring your arms out like a T, straight out to your side. Palms can be down. We'll do the same thing. We're going to press the hips down, lift the legs up. Reach out with your arms, lift your chest up, pull your heart forward. Take a breath here and maybe lift a bit higher. And then lower back down. Now take your arms out like a Y. So on an angle forward or a V. And same thing. Press the hips down, lift the legs, reach the arms out and up, lift the heart. Hold here and take a breath, maybe lifting a bit higher. And then lower yourself down. Last option, and you're always welcome to not, do a certain arm position, go to another one. We're going to try Superman, arms overhead. Let's start with the legs. Press the hips down and lift the legs. Reach forward, lift the heart, lift the arms. Let's hold here for 2 breaths here now. Could we lift a little higher? One more breath. And then lower yourself down. Great. Bring your hands next to chest. Let's push up to knees or push up to plank. Take the hips back, or you can be on your knees and take your hips back, and then come forward and lower down. So a couple more of those push-ups. Maybe you're pushing up to your knees and taking the hips back and lowering down, or maybe you're pushing up to plank and taking your hips back and coming forward and lowering down. We're just going to do two more. Push up and back and forward and down, and again up and back and forward. And this time as we come down, let's come onto our forearms. So we'll get our elbows right under our shoulders, then we'll slice down with the forearms to lift the chest. We'll curl the toes under, and we have the option to be a kneeling forearm plank, or lifting one knee at a time, or taking both knees up for our full forearm plank. And we can hold statically here, or just alternate dropping a knee, or we can stir the pot, taking those hips to the side, around and center, to the side, up, around and center, to the side, up, around and center. We'll go in this direction one more time. And then we're going to change direction. Take the hips to the other side, up, around, and center, to the other side, up, around, and center. Two more, side, up, around, and center. Last one, side, up, around, center. Let's hold here for a breath. And then lower down. Nice work. All right. Let your elbows go wide. Let your head rest on your hands. Take a moment to breathe, relax, connect, feel. Sometimes a really hard pose, like there's a lot of tension that we create in the area that we're working, but then in all these other areas, like in the jaw perhaps, so let that go. And then when you're ready, push yourself all the way back to child's pose. Take a moment to breathe in and out here, reconnect, check in. When you're ready, lift your head up, make your way to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out here, maybe just appreciating how it feels to be upside down. Kind of a playful place to be. So just maybe just appreciate and enjoy the fact that we get to be in this funky position for one more breath. And then let's just look forward, walk our feet up towards our hands this time, ending up folded over. And then we'll reverse swan dive. Sweep the arms out, inhale and rise up, reach up. And exhale, arms down at our sides. Great, okay. We're gonna do some lunges. So we're gonna pick up our weights, and I'm gonna use heavier weights. We're gonna have our feet hip distance apart. We'll take a big step back with one foot. We're gonna try and have the heel going straight back on that back leg. And we're gonna just bend both knees. As we do that, we'll take the arms out, and then we're gonna lower. So we're going out and down, and out and down, and lift and lower and lift. Now I want us to do something a little different. Elbows by your waist, hands wider. As we bend, we're going to reach out. As we straighten, we're going to pull in. So lift out and pull in, and lift out and pull in. Lifting out. So your palms are up here. We're working the biceps and the shoulders. Lifting out and pulling in. Lifting out. This time we're going to lift out, and we're just going to try and hold it there. Hold the lunge, hold the arms, take a breath, and then come in. Great. Now drop your arms. We're gonna bend the front knee and we're gonna lean forward. So a lot of weight in that front foot. We're gonna take the arms and press them straight back. See how high you can lift them up behind you. Keep your upper arms right like that and bend your lower arm in. And then press that lower arm back. Bend the lower arm in, press that lower arm back. So keep the elbows at the same height the whole time. Don't let your elbows lower. Press all the way back. It's in that final little extension back that you really get into those tricep muscles. So let's keep going here. Press back, lift up, bend, press back, lift up, hinge, press back, lift up. 4 more. Press back, lift up. 3 more. Press back, lift up. 2 more. Press back, lift. Last one, you're going to press back, lift, and hold. Hold, hold, and then lower down. Let's bring the weight onto the front foot. Try and lift the back leg up. Try and balance here. Arms could be down, or you could just try holding them out to your side. We'll just take a couple of breaths here. And then we can drop the arms and hinge up to stand. Great, let's do that all on the other side. So feet are hip distance apart. Big step back with the other foot. Lift that heel up. And as we bend, we're just gonna lateral raise and lower. Bending both knees and lowering. Bending and lifting and lowering. Lifting. Good. Now, elbows in by the waist. As we bend, we're going to take the arms out and then hug the elbows in. Lift up and out and hug the elbows in. You're doing great. Lift up and out and hug in. Yeah. Second side can be a little harder because our muscles are fatigued. Let's do 4 more of these. And 3 more. And 2 more. This one, let's hold. Take a breath. Hug in. All right, drop your arms. Bend your front knee. Lean forward. And then take those dropped arms and press them back. Nice and high. Keep the upper arm as is. Hinge in from the elbow. And then press back up and lift. Hinge in. Press back up and lift. Hinge in. Press back up and lift. Hinge in. Press back up and lift. Yeah, hopefully you're feeling that in the back of the upper arm as you're lifting that weight. Feel that muscle fire. Let's do 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. This next one, we're going to hold it up there. Press back, hold it up. Take a couple of breaths. And then lower your arms down. We're going to bring the weight onto the front foot. Lift the back leg up. Hinge forward. You could have your arms down. You could lift them out to the side. And just 2 breaths here. Nice work. And come up to stand. Great job. All right. We're going to let go of our weights. And now we're going to move to the wall. So you might have to bring your device along or something, but find a wall or a door or something that you can sit right up next to. And maybe you'll encounter some spider webs. And then lower onto your back and swing your legs up onto the wall so that you are close to the wall, but probably not right up against it. Your arms are at your side, your comfortable distance. Separate your legs about as wide as your hips. And begin by just pushing your heels into the wall. Feel like your heels are trying to push the wall over and feel your hamstrings firing. Yeah, great. Now kind of claw your heels in and kind of feel as though you're pulling down. So it makes your knees bend a little bit and you might feel even more activation in those hamstrings. And then let's use the hamstrings now. Don't turn your head now, just look at the ceiling rather than looking at your device. Press your heels down to lift your hips up and up and up and up. Bring the weight up nice and high on your shoulders. You can get up nice and high when you use the wall like this, which then will give us an opportunity to articulate a little more areas of the spine. So since the legs are so strong, take a breath at the top. Let the support of the legs help you to release your vertebrae very individually, one at a time. Take your time, see if you can feel one, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. So you're feeling each vertebra releasing individually. And as you get lower down, your mid back, your low back, you might notice big chunks that come down at the same time. So just kind of, we're going to do this a few more times. So you might want to really see if you can get those stiffer areas to articulate a little bit more. So we're all going to go at different paces, and that's fine. You can go slower, you can go a little more quickly, but we're going to eventually roll out. And when you come all the way down, take a little break and let everything relax, and then go again. Push your heels into the wall, claw your heels down, use those strong hamstrings to lift your hips up and bring the weight up onto your shoulders. Take a breath at the top, and then you decide how slowly you want to go, but really bring your awareness to the feeling of your spine, having this nice opportunity to kind of free itself up. Ideally, our spine has a lot of mobility, and as we age, we tend to lose some of that mobility, but it's a nice opportunity to, create a little more mobility and some more awareness. So maybe you're going really, really slow and you're only halfway down. Maybe you've been down for a while and you've headed back up, and either way is fine. We'll keep doing this at least one more time. And if you want to transition to shoulder stand the next time you come up, you could do that as well, bringing your hands onto your low back and lifting your legs off the wall. Again, don't turn your head if you're trying shoulder stand. Just keep your head looking up at the ceiling. So you could just be rolling up and down. If you don't want to be doing shoulder stand, you could just stay down with your legs up the wall and just enjoy that nice gentle inversion. So you could be rolling up and down, you could be up in shoulder stand, you could just be lying with your legs up the wall. It's all good. Let's focus on our breath, on our appreciation for this moment. So we can start to transition now. If you're rolling up and down, you could roll down. If you're in shoulder stand, you could bring your knees to your nose, or you could bring your legs to the wall, or you could reach your feet overhead, and we'll roll out to our shoulder stand. And we're eventually going to all end up with legs up the wall, just nice and relaxed. And we'll take another breath. And then let's bring our feet on the wall and kind of push the hips away to just give us a little space so that we can roll to the side and push ourselves up. And then we'll make our way back over to our mats. And let's finish up with pigeon pose. So I like to get into pigeon pose from a really grounded place. So leaning back with the feet wider than the hips, if we then roll the knees to the side and bring the hand from behind and bring both knees down, you might want a tighter angle or a wider angle. You might want to slide your back leg back if that's your preference. But we're going to kind of orient over this front bent knee and lower our weight down over that knee and thigh so that we feel a stretch in that front hip. And as we're folded over here, let's just see if we can connect with the breath. Imagine that breath moving into that front hip. And let that breath empty out. Maybe just creating a little more space and freedom in that area of that front hip. Take one more breath in and out here. And then lift your head up, bring your hands to the floor, lift your chest up. We can lean back and bring the knees up. And then we're going to let those knees roll all the way to the other side, coming down. That back hand comes around. So again, you can change the angle of your legs. Some people like to straighten the back leg, but we're going to lower down over that front thigh. And just shift your position until you feel a nice stretch in that front hip. And then just breathe into that. One more breath. And then lifting your head up and making your way up, leaning back and bringing the knees up. Then straighten your legs out in front of you. Slide your right foot in. You could leave the foot here or cross it over. Let's reach behind with that same arm that the leg crossed over. And we're going to spiral in the direction of that arm behind. So you could have your hand holding your knee, hugging your knee, or you might bring your arm across. We're going to spiral around the line of the spine and take a deep breath in and out. Maybe feeling an ability to twist a little deeper on your exhale. Do that again. And then we'll unwind ourselves around. We're going to change legs. We'll slide that other foot in. It could be on this side, it could be on the other side. If you want to sit up on a blanket, I didn't mention that, but if that would help you to sit up more straight, just go ahead and slide something under you. So that arm goes behind. You feel the line of your spine and breathe in. And then just follow, spiral that upper body around. Ribs, chest, shoulders, head and neck. And then nice deep breaths in and out here. Twisting is a way to release things. So let the exhale be a releasing and a letting go. And then unwind yourself around. We're going to go back to the first side. And we can do it just like we did it. We could have a foot here or a foot crossed over. If you like, you could take the straight leg and bring the heel by the opposite hip. And then this foot could be in front or it could be crossed over. Can you root your sitting bones down and feel that line of your spine? If not, straighten that bottom bent in leg. And then the right arm goes behind and you straighten up, spiral around the line of your spine. And then breathe in and out. Let that exhale take with it anything that's constricted or heavy or difficult or complicated or worrisome. One more breath. Let go of anger and frustration and resentment. And then you can release back around, uncross, and then second side. Again, the foot could be here, the foot could be crossed over, or you could take that straight leg, bring the heel by the hip, and then cross the other leg over and see if you can root down. I'm still not able to do that on this side yet, so that's fine. Let's reach the arm behind, or just take your arm behind, feel the line of your spine, breathe in, and then spiral around. And then use your breath. It's such a therapeutic tool. Breathe in, maybe breathe in forgiveness. As you breathe out those things that are hard. The things that maybe we hold on to that we don't really need to hold on to. Let's let them go with the exhale. Breathing in, just being okay with where we're at and how we are. And letting go what we're ready to let go of. And then we'll unwind and uncross. And we're going to move into our final relaxation. So taking a little time to ascertain what you need in order to be able to relax. Maybe you need a little blanket or a pillow. Maybe you need a layer or some socks. Maybe you need a little support or something soft under you. Whatever you need, offer it to yourself. Set yourself up so that you can be comfortable. Because we're just going to take this time, and just as we find it's important to work to strengthen our muscles, it's really valuable to give them some time to reintegrate, to build the strength that we were just creating. This rest phase is probably as important as the work phase for our muscles. And then this relaxation in the body has this ability to calm the mind, which is also so valuable. So let your body relax now. Just feel the weight of your body heavy on the floor. Your feet are heavy, your legs are heavy, your hips are heavy. The heavy weight of your lower body is just dropping into the floor. And release any need to hold on, to clench or grip. Just let the whole lower body relax, release, and let go. Then feel the weight of your shoulders and your arms, heavy and relaxed on the floor. Soften your palms, your elbow creases, your chest. Let the weight of your upper body melt into the floor. Feel the heaviness of your head releasing back, supported so that your neck can relax, the jaw can relax, the temples release back, Let your forehead soften and smooth, your eyes relaxing. And your mind comes along, resting, free and open and relaxed. Enjoy this abundance of time. This relaxation might be just what you need this morning, and you might choose to spend some more time lying back. And that's fine. Close your device. If you're ready to transition, we can begin to open our eyes. We can bend our knees and bring our feet to the floor and gently roll to the side, taking a little time there to transition. And when we feel ready, we can make our way up to sitting. Find a way to sit comfortably, maybe bringing your hands to heart. Closing out this practice in a way that's supportive for you. My deep gratitude to each of you for being here this morning. Peace. Thanks for showing up, for sharing the practice, for being here for yourself.